Tonight on CFTK-TV News, the potential implications of aluminum tariffs in Kitimat, a report from the all-native basketball tournament, and a burgling trend towards food.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. I'm Jaylene Matthews. With aluminum tariffs likely having direct implications in Kitimat, as Rio Tinto is a major employer, CTV's Rob Buffum looked into what this means for the district.
It's the lifeblood of Kitimat, the Rio Tinto aluminum smelter that employs 1,000 workers in a town of just 8,000 and is now in the crosshairs of President Trump's threatened tariffs.
Single largest and most stable employer for over 70 years here. And it's not just Kitimat. They'd have a major impact on, of course, the region and even the province as a whole.
Trump signed executive orders yesterday to impose 25% tariffs on both steel and aluminum, set to kick in March 12th. This smelter produces up to 420,000 tons of aluminum a year, most of it shipped to the United States. Rio Tinto, the company that owns the smelter, is actively pursuing alternative markets, likely in Asia. But convincing Trump to walk back the tariffs is the best short-term goal, says the mayor.
People are concerned, of course, not panicking, but just concerned about the effect this might have.
A point the Prime Minister says he hopes to hammer home.
Working with the American administration over the coming weeks to highlight the negative impacts on Americans and Canadians. If it comes to that, our response, of course, will be firm and clear.
All premiers, including David Eby, are meeting in Washington, D.C. Wednesday, trying to persuade U.S. decision makers to back off these and other tariffs.
For the Americans, we know that they can only produce about 1.5 million tons of aluminum. And their demand for aluminum is more than 5 million tons a year.
We just have to get our message out about we're stronger together. That's the message we want to deliver to the American people and to the elected officials down here.
A message those living in a BC town founded to support an aluminum smelter anxiously hopes gets through in the next month.
Robert Buffum, CTV News.
Former Skeena MLA Ellis Ross was at the Junior All-Native Basketball Tournament yesterday and shared his thoughts on the effect Trump's aluminum tariffs could have on Kitimat.
Well, it will affect the Kitimat. Rio Tinto Alcan, formerly known as Alcan, was the main reason why Kitimat existed in the first place. Alcan actually built the town of Kitimat before they became a municipality. But really what we got to do, and everybody's been talking about this, they've been talking about it for years, we have to diversify our economy. We have to diversify our trade. We got to reopen trading partners with the rest of the world. We're talking about Germany, Italy, China, India. I mean, it's great to have a huge trading partner in the United States, but if you focus all your trade in just one partner, you're basically susceptible to what's happening now under Trump. So I think we got to diversify our trade.
The all-native basketball tournament is now in full swing, and CFTK-TV's Damian Smith was in attendance yesterday afternoon.
Well, we are here at the Jim Saccone Arena in Prince Rupert for the fourth day of the all-native basketball tournament. And this year marked number 65 in the tournament's history, with a total of 62 teams coming up and down British Columbia and parts of Alaska. This tournament continues to be a focal point around the Northwest, with a sense of stability among those who run it. And that includes Eva Spencer, who is one of 12 people on the all-native board.
The judges or the scorekeepers, security, all the different positions that involve in this tournament committee, each committee member has their own position. So once everybody's position is done, then the tournament's ready to go.
Spencer also described the event as being like a second Christmas to the Prince Rupert community, where hotels and restaurants can see much needed business. And for Mayor Herb Pond, who notes that sports is not all about scores and plays on the court.
I was at the opening ceremonies, as I often am, and it just is heartwarming to see these teams come piling in from all across the province and from Alaska. So up and down the coast, over to, up inland from us, over to Haida Gwaii and up to Heidelberg, Alaska, all coming in, bringing their culture, and of course bringing the game of basketball.
Now, this is a week-long tournament with high demand, and it has now become a part of entertainment in the Northwest.
If there wasn't a hunger out there up and down the coast to come and participate and be part of that exchange, there is real competitive basketball and at the same time a real camaraderie.
Ellis Ross also stopped by, who coached this team from Kitimat, starting the tournament 1-0 after the team not playing together for over 20 years.
Coming here for fellowship. There's a lot of friendly people here, a lot of happy people. You got a really loud crowd cheering for their home team. You got the Arts and Crafts Center and the food, and you got all the booths set up. So a lot of people here come in, you have a good time. I've never come in here and had a negative experience in my life.
Now, there are still 3 more days of the tournament left over, with the semifinals on Friday and the finals for all 5 divisions on Saturday. From CFTK-TV, I'm Damian Smith.
The town of Smithers is offering local residents the chance to give their 2 cents on the draft version of the Smithers Community Heritage Register. Next week, on Wednesday the 19th, people can drop by the Bulkley Valley Museum and take a look at the register that lists off several properties that are getting recognition for having either heritage value or character. It's being used as an educational tool, and the museum has partnered up with the town in order to see that it gets fully completed. And Kitimat's RCMP are asking the public for assistance with a missing utility trailer. The trailer is believed to have been stolen and has been described as a white 2019 24-foot Forest River trailer. It is believed to have been taken on February 7th at around 1 in the morning from the 700 block of Enterprise Way in Kitimat. Anyone who knows where it might be is asked to call the Kitimat RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Coming up next, Prince Rupert adopts a climate change plan. The city of Prince Rupert recently announced they were adopting a climate change adaptation plan, which is a plan that takes a look at future climate trends that are specific to the Prince Rupert area. The plan was put together by the Sustainability Solutions Group and was created after gathering input from various Prince Rupert community groups, emergency services, businesses, environmental nonprofits, as well as individual residents. This plan is also set to serve as a complement to Prince Rupert's Community Energy and Emissions Plan that they adopted back in 2017, and the new climate change plan can be viewed on the city's website. Quebec could also be greatly affected by U.S. aluminum tariff woes. The province is a major producer, putting out 90% of Canada's aluminum, but also, strikingly, 60% of what is used south of the border. CTV's Genevieve Beauchemin visited a company south of Montreal that now finds itself in Trump's crosshairs.
Over generations, Quebec forged a reputation as America's aluminum supplier. But Trump's tariffs now pose a major roadblock.
This is unprecedented. We've not in our worst nightmares would we envision something like that happening.
Alu MC3 was founded by the Mongrain family in the aluminum sector since 1959. It manufactures poles for lampposts, road signs, bridges.
If you look up on the highway, you're likely to
You're very likely to see some of our products.
The raw product is made in Quebec aluminum, but it goes via the U.S., shipped for processing before crossing the border yet again. Import levies stacked upon import levies will shut down major avenues.
Essentially, it's going to cut us off from the American market because we're getting priced out of this market. It's a significant rise on the price of our products, and we're simply not competitive anymore with this new tariff.
Quebec produces more than 2.9 million tons of aluminum each year. Its major smelters will be hit with the massive tariffs, of course.
This is all from the United States.
But most of the impacts, says the trade association, will fall on small and medium-sized businesses.
Already we have some members who have lost orders and have customers within the U.S. who told them they would be buying locally.
And that weighs heavily on the minds of the nearly 40,000 Quebec workers in this sector.
Just stressed out, or like a little bit anxious about it, because I've been like, what's going to happen?
Companies are hoping the governments are going to continue to pressure Washington, but also find ways to boost the industry here.
BC's average snowpack measured 28% below normal at the start of this month after an extremely dry start to the year across much of the province. The latest snow and water bulletin comes after BC started the year at a more typical level, with snowpack hitting 13% below normal on January 1st. Jonathan Boyd, a hydrologist with BC's River Forecast Centre, says it was strange to see a significant drop in a single month, especially in January, when the province typically sees the greatest accumulations of snow each winter. He says February has also been dry so far, and the latest information from Environment Canada indicates it may be another 7 to 10 days before there is potentially a significant change in weather patterns. And turning to your Northwest weather report. Tonight on the North Coast, it's another clear evening with 30-kilometer-an-hour winds near mainland valleys and inlets, a low of -4 with a wind chill value around -8. Over the next few days on the North Coast, expect clouds to start rolling in towards the end of the week and the temperatures to increase incrementally. Tonight, in the Terrace-Kitimat area, the weather is looking clear with 20-kilometer-an-hour winds after midnight, low of -12, wind chill -12 this evening and -20 overnight. Over the next few days in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect the sun to last a little while longer before the clouds start coming in and temperatures will sit a few degrees below freezing. Tonight, in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, it's looking clear and cold, sitting at a -26 degrees. Over the next few days in the Bulkley Valley, sunshine is in the forecast for now, with temperatures sitting in the negative double digits, but warming slightly as the week progresses. Taking a look at your road report across the Northwest today. Slippery sections along Highway 16, compact snow between Morristown and Whitsett. There's ditching between Cedarvale and Kitwanga with minor delays. On Highway 37, slippery sections and compact snow between Kitwanga and the end of Highway 37. Bridge maintenance between Hazelton-Kitwanga Back Road and Nass River Bridge. There's single-lane alternating traffic. On Highway 37A, there's slippery sections. On Highway 118, slippery from Topley to Grand Isle. On the Nishka Highway, slippery from Gingolks to Terrace. And on Telegraph Creek Road, it's slippery between Stikeen Avenue and Boulder Avenue. And now we take a look at what the roads were looking like from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, the trend towards stolen food. The province's seniors advocate wants to hear family caregivers' experiences helping loved ones access publicly funded long-term care. The Office of the Seniors Advocate is asking caregivers to complete an online survey to help it better understand long-term care and supply and demand issues. The survey is part of a review that will analyze data and system factors driving wait lists and wait times for long-term care. The Seniors Advocate says nearly 6,500 British Columbia seniors are currently waiting for long-term care, with some seniors waiting 2 to 3 years for their preferred care home. And one might typically expect burglars to target high-value items like jewelry, but as CTV's Heather Wright reports, there's a new burgling trend towards food these days.
The figures are dizzying. More than $1 million worth of olive oil, $60,000 worth of butter, and thousands of dollars worth of cheese. Food thefts are on the rise right across the country.
There's so many opportunities for criminals to resell their goods.
Rui Rodriguez is with the Retail Council of Canada and says shoplifting cost Canadian retailers more than $9 billion last year.
We're getting
It includes smash and grabs and coordinated thefts, like the nearly $13,000 worth of cheese stolen from a Vancouver Whole Foods in September.
We're always looking for deals, so criminals operate in that. If there's a need, they'll find a way to fill it. And if we allow crime to go unchecked or to make them believe that there's no consequences to their acts, they'll just continue to thrive.
Last week, 100 pallets of olive oil worth more than $1 million were stolen in Montreal. The theft only discovered when the shipment didn't arrive at its destination. In January, 6 people in Ontario were charged after $60,000 worth of butter was stolen. And amidst soaring egg prices in the United States, $40,000 worth of organic eggs were recently stolen from a trailer in Pennsylvania.
It's really about higher prices, creating a black market, and headlines getting organized crime to get organized and focus on some products. And that seems to be the pattern right now.
And while it's hard to put a figure on food-specific fraud, the World Trade Organization says globally it is between $30 and $50 billion a year, a figure that doesn't include alcohol.
Experts say thieves often have a buyer lined up before the heist takes place, and when possible, will dilute the product to be able to sell more of it. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Just in time for Valentine's Day, the Coquitlam RCMP has come up with a clever way to remind the public of people who are wanted in BC. Here's CTV's Ben Nesbitt.
Dinner behind bars. It's not a black tie type of affair, rather an orange jumpsuit one.
We want to remind people dangerous criminals are on the loose and need to be reported.
Metro Vancouver Crime Stoppers isn't expecting any of its 6 least wanted Valentines to show up for the dinner and are hoping the public can help bring these fugitives to justice. Among them is Robbie Al-Khalil, who's wanted for murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and being unlawfully at large. He escaped from North Fraser Pretrial Center in July of 2022. Police said he was assisted by these 2 men posing as contractors. The trio are believed to have fled in this white van. Authorities said there's a good chance he fled the country.
Connections range from across Canada to the United States, Europe, and Asia. Al-Khalil is very dangerous, and we are asking people not to approach and to call 911 immediately.
A $50,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to his capture.
He is wanted for importing controlled substance.
Another fugitive believed to have fled the country is Raj Memi, who was convicted after being caught smuggling 80 kilograms of cocaine through a Surrey border crossing. Police say he fled to India before his sentencing hearing.
An Interpol Red Notice is being sought as a request to law enforcement worldwide to locate and arrest him.
Also wanted is John Norman McKenzie. He was convicted of second-degree murder and armed robbery, but escaped from prison in 2018. Police also want 3 other men back behind bars for various drug trafficking and violent offenses.
It's really important that we get these individuals off the street.
Metro Vancouver Crime Stoppers is anonymous and receives more than 5,000 tips a year. Since its inception, it has led to 8,500 arrests. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Vancouver.
Turning to the stock markets now. The Canadian dollar was down 0.02 of a cent. The price of gold dropped $3.60. Oil was down $2.09. Natural gas was up by 2 cents. Aluminum was up $7. In Toronto, the TSX was down about 69 points. The Venture Index rose 7 points. In New York, the Dow Jones was down 225 and the Nasdaq rose by about 6. Still ahead, the Invictus Games take Whistler by storm. The Invictus Games are underway in Whistler, and as CTV's Martin McMahon reports, it's not a contest for the week.
It's party time in Whistler Village, with the resort community welcoming the world for the Invictus Games.
Oh yeah, you could just feel the energy. People from all around the world are here. I mean, everyone's got a smile on their face. This is a good situation.
Well, a lot of energy, and I just wanted to say, thank you for your service. Most of the athletes, of course, have served, so I just want to say that we're all thankful for their service.
Everyone's really enjoying the sunshine, and really excited to see all the competitors getting around it.
Have fun. Okay, have fun, Sonny!
The competition for wounded, injured, and sick veterans is intense, and Whistler's mayor is enjoying watching the action.
For us, this is really about honoring veterans and what they've done for our country and for other countries, and taking an opportunity to use this community in a way that we've planned for since the 70s. It was always a place for sport. It was always a place for hosting.
And hosting the event has the added benefit of providing a boost for businesses, especially pubs and restaurants.
It's really had a positive impact on our business. Lunches have been strong, and yesterday with the opening ceremonies with Prince Harry around and Michael Bublé, everybody kind of filtered into the bars and restaurants after to celebrate.
We've been preparing for this for a long time, and so I think a lot of the restaurants and hotels are eager to welcome people that they've been kind of thinking about and talking about and planning for a long time. So it's good to have.
And if you've been procrastinating on getting tickets, the good news is there are still tickets available for some events with the games running through the weekend. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Whistler.
We can grow a lot in BC, but we've never quite had the climate to grow citrus fruits. But one BC lady has created a farm capable of doing just that using a wood stove. Here's CTV's Andrew Johnson.
They're doing really well. Look at the leaf quality is just amazing.
This is Jane Squire's subtropical happy place.
This is a special little hardy guava.
About 10 years ago, Squire set out to grow her own citrus on Canada's west coast.
There's oranges and lemons and limes and grapefruits. We are moving into the avocados.
Squire's not only plucking fruit from these trees in the middle of winter, she's also doing it on the cheap.
My power bill for the whole farm is pretty much like a single-family home.
She credits regenerative soil techniques. An energy curtain hanging above the citrus grove cuts heat loss by about 40%. A hydronic system fueled by a wood-burning furnace keeps the temperature from dropping below 1 degree Celsius.
Hot water goes in here from that furnace and heats this water up, and then the heat comes off the pool, just naturally comes up, and the fan over there takes the heat and circulates it around the greenhouse.
Jane Squire believes it could be cost-effective to scale up subtropical fruit production in the Great White North. And she's not alone.
Into the future, maybe British Columbia will be the California of Canada.
Bob Duncan runs this demonstration orchard near Victoria. He's spent decades researching the best way to grow dozens of varieties of subtropical Mediterranean tree fruits for pennies per day. His secret weapon to keep the trees warm? Christmas lights.
The heating cost for the entire winter would be about $2 to $3.
What Duncan calls a low-tech, low-cost method anyone can learn to get more people growing and Canada less dependent on its neighbor.
It's no longer a pipe dream. It is entirely feasible.
In a country ripe for finding new ways to be self-sufficient. Andrew Johnson, CTV News.
That's our news for now. Thanks for watching.